myself don't know.
I know, Pat, I told her.
And I did ring the bell. Did you ring the bell? I did ring the bell. I've been here a couple of times. I apologize, we had an executive meeting in the back and we're a little delayed. Welcome to the February 12th, 2020 Mayor and Council meeting in the Borough of Oakland. Today is Lincoln's birthday, in case anybody's wondering. But everybody celebrates now President's Day, which is on Monday. So at this time, roll call
Mayor Schwager.
here.
Councilman Bialy.
Yeah.
Councilman Knapp.
Here.
Councilman Levy.
Here.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Here.
Councilman Talamini.
Here.
Councilman Van Eck.
Here.
I ask everybody to stand, salute to the flag, remain standing for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. And my mayor's report for today, Lincoln's birthday, is as follows. There's been a lot of talk about the Welcome to Oakland signs, and we are purchasing Welcome to Oakland signs for all the entrances and exits of our borough. And each of these signs is sponsored by someone, so it's not costing the taxpayer any money. Well, this borough is seeking one final sponsor for the new Welcome to Oakland signs, which are being installed this spring. Locations for the signs are the entrances into our town, and the last available sign, the location is at Breakneck Road at the Wayne-Oakland border. So if anybody's interested in buying and purchasing and sponsoring the last Welcome to Oakland sign, contact Michael at Borough Hall. Last week, we held a meeting on sewers with the residents up in the Cayuga, Massasoit, Geronimo area, which is under the, connected to the Skyview treatment plant. And then on Tuesday, yesterday, February 11th, we went down to Trenton. So I went to Trenton with Councilman Levy and Councilman Bialy, our borough administrator, our attorneys, our engineers, and met regarding the sewer plans. Phase 1 will be the decommissioning of the 3 sewer treatment plants, Skyview, Chapel Hill, and Oakwood Knolls. Thank you to Councilman Bialy for driving, and to all the professionals who attended the meeting. I'm happy to report that we made great progress yesterday, especially as it relates to the decommissioning of the treatment plants. Despite earlier positions to the contrary, the New Jersey DEP indicated that the decommissioning process will not require major modification of our water allocation permit or a consistency determination from the Highlands Council. These changes remove significant regulatory hurdles, and the borough will move more, quicker and faster to follow the required modifications to our water allocation and permit and treatment works approval. Therefore, it is anticipated that we will be able to break ground on the decommissioning project in 2021. That is Phase 1 of sewers coming to Oakland. The most important thing we have to do is decommission those 3 sewage treatment plants. That it must be done. I will keep everyone updated on the progress, and the reason why it takes so long is because we need our attorney to purchase the land where the pump station is going, and we need permits from the state. They have to advertise. It's the bureaucracy of government. But I assure you, we're moving as fast as possible. At the meeting last Tuesday, I offered to keep everybody posted about the sewers by email, and one of the residents, and I'm talking to that resident who promised to get me the list of emails. I don't have it, so I made the announcement today, and I will post it, or we could post it on the website. Richard, maybe we can post that information about yesterday's meeting on the website so that all residents can read about the decommissioning of those 3 plants. This is geared to anybody interested in the Environmental Commission. We have many members who did not attend the meetings, and we have other residents who want to be on the Environmental Commission. So, and because you don't attend the meetings, they don't have quorums, and they can't get things done. So a letter is going out to all members of the Environmental Commission. If you really can't do it, I know your heart's there, but we all have busy lives, and you just may not be able to make the meetings. If you don't make the meetings, if we don't get a quorum, then acts can't be performed and actions can't be taken. So a letter is going to go out to all members of the Environmental Commission asking and requesting to let us know honestly whether or not you want to remain on the Environmental Commission and are willing to commit to the meetings, which are once a month, or if you just can't make it, we could come up with some plan, but this way we can fill that seat with someone who can make the meetings, and therefore a quorum could be had, and then we can do things. So don't be insulted if you get the letter. If we're just sending it to everybody, just for honesty, if you can or cannot remain on the Environmental Commission. Tonight, we have a very exciting night. We're welcoming our newest police officer and family, because it becomes a family here. And we're congratulating the Ramapo High School football team. Amazing, especially the coach and the 3 Oakland players. And then we also are congratulating Indian Hills Academic Decathlon. Everybody always raves and congratulates the athletes. And sometimes we just forget to, we're doing that next, I know. We're doing that. Yes. Lisa is our borough clerk, and she always keeps me posted, but she's good. Thank you. No, we're going to be giving out certificates to the members of the Indian Hills High School Academic Decathlon next meeting, because we didn't want to take it away from this meeting with all that we're doing. But we have to remember that people are special, not only just in athletics, but also academically, which is important. And we have to say goodbye to one of our members who was on the Board of Health. And we have a very special presentation by Allison Fleeson on a new project called the Oakland Community Garden. So, with that,
Excuse me, Mayor, she stole my pen. She shouldn't be allowed to have any presentation.
she's going to plant it in the garden.
She took my pen off the dais.
Oh,
No
do you need a
garden
pen?
for
Do you need a pen?
I don't write anything down anyway, but it's the principle.
Maybe we'll just have everybody speak while everybody's here. So I'm going to deviate a little bit. Any motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone wish to, well, not the presentation, I'll be after. No, I'm deviating, just opening to the public. While everybody's here, because I want everybody to hear if anybody from the public has anything to say. And no one has anything to say?
Motion to close.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, we have a resolution 2071 to authorize the hiring of Police Officer Joseph Burns. It will be effective as of February 12th, 2020. And everything has been checked out, and he will start at a salary of step 3, $60,808 in accordance with the current PBA contract, which is in effect. So, I need a motion and a second. And public safety?
Motion.
Second? Oh. Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pinutelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van App.
Yes.
I forgot you called me because my pen's not here.
So I need Officer Joseph Brown and whoever is going to come up and hold the Bible.
It's okay. You know what? It's almost out of ink. Go ahead. You can have it.
You can have
Not up to me.
Oh,
That's him.
what do you want, Bible?
Okay.
Ready?
I, Joseph Burns,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same,
and the governments
and the governments
established in the United States
and the establishment of the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform
perform
all the duties of the office of police officer
all the duties of the office of police officer
in the Borough of Oakland,
in the Borough of Oakland,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
And this
ability.
is optional, so help me God.
So help me God.
Then that's it. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, be safe.
He has to sign to make it official.
Congratulations.
He has to sign to make it official. Does he start tomorrow morning, or is it tonight?
Tomorrow afternoon.
We need that back. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Now, everybody's welcome to stay. And you might want to stay for the next. Oh, what about the boys around Poe High School? Come on. Okay, we have Coach Drew Gibbs. Yeah. Oh, there you are. Okay. And I heard you're going to be in Flo Follies.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
you're going to have elected officials in that same skit with you.
There we go.
Oh. So, head coach Drew Gibbs, Ramapo High School, and in case you're not aware, we are a regional school district for the high school. Oakland, Franklin Lakes, and Wyckoff are together for the two high schools, Indian Hills and Ramapo. So the children from the three towns could go to either schools. And you're the head coach of the high school. We have Matt Hoey. Did I say it right?
Yep.
Charles DePrima and Michael Terranova are Oakland residents who play on the Ramapo High School football team. And in 2019, Ramapo High School scored, their record was 13-0. Ranked number 2 in New Jersey. And Bergen County Group 345 Team of the Year. And North One Group 3 State Sectional Champs. And you are the first team to go 13-0 for a second season in a row. So here's the certificate, and I hope Ramapo will put it up here.
Absolutely.
And it talks about all the achievements of the football team, and it really is very special.
Thank you.
So congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to bring up our team captains, Josh DeVanzo and Jake Perone.
Mayor.
As well as Jack Brady
Mike.
and Michael Terranova. It was really nice to see all the officers here today for the swearing in of a new officer in town, and it reminded me of our football team in that, you know, when the whole group comes together, special things can be accomplished. And this group, to do what they did, it wasn't one individual effort, it was 60 players really being committed to the team and to each other. And when no one cares who gets the credit, special things happen. So it was an honor and a privilege to be their coach and a very
Wow.
special group of young men.
Are they all,
Junior sophomore,
where are you going?
Michigan.
Oh, and you're a senior?
Yeah, one Trinity.
Wow, very nice. That's very special. Good luck to all of you.
Great job, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank
Yes.
you.
And again,
Thank you.
congratulations. I'll see you on stage.
Absolutely.
And then, Pat, Councilman Pignatelli. We put this on our certificates, which is very important. It says, a community has no greater riches than the dedicated service of its people. And this is for Mary Ann, and you've been involved with the Board of Health, so why don't you read this? Here's the certificate that we have for Mary Ann. And so why don't you read it?
Thank you. In recognition and appreciation for 21 years of exemplary service as a dedicated member of the Board of Health, your expertise as a nurse was extremely beneficial to the Board of Health, especially in matters of public health. The Mayor and Council commend and thank you for your dedication and commitment to the borough. We wish you continued good health and happiness in all your future endeavors. Signed, Linda Schwager, Mayor.
Thank you.
And West, well, congratulations.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
Great experience and had good guidance.
I just, again, like to thank Mary Ann. 21 years to donate or dedicate to your borough is a long, long time. You know, many times we depended on Mary Ann for her expertise in public health, and she was an extremely good asset to the health board. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. I learned a lot from you.
Now where am I? Now we have minutes. We have minutes from the January 8th, 2020 meeting. There a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy?
Yes.
Councilman Knapp?
Yes.
Councilman Levy?
Yes.
Councilman Pivotelli?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Councilman Van App?
Abstention, please.
We have minutes from the January 22nd, 2020 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy?
Yes.
Councilman Knapp?
Yes.
Councilman Levy?
Yes.
Councilman Pivotelli?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Councilman Van App?
Abstention.
We have executive session meeting minutes from January 8th, 2020. If there's going to be any discussion, it must be made during executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy?
Yes.
Councilman Knapp?
Yes.
Councilman Levy?
Yes.
Councilman Pivotelli?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Councilman Van App?
Abstention.
Now, we also have minutes from the January 22nd, 2020 executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Will there be any discussion? And roll call.
Councilman Bialy?
Yes.
Councilman Knapp?
Yes.
Councilman Levy?
Yes.
Councilman Pivotelli?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Councilman Van App?
Abstention.
All right, so down we did Mary Ann. Community Garden, now you're on. And if you speak at the podium, you'll be underneath the microphones in the ceiling.
Hi, everyone. Allison Fleeson, 59 Seton Hall Drive. I am the co-chair of the Sustainable Jersey Green Team, and I'm here about the community garden. So the Green Team has proposed building a community garden back behind the municipal building. There is where the back parking lot is, there's a small kind of triangle of land that the borough owns that's next to the middle school that we would like to utilize as the community garden. What we're looking at, which I think everybody saw, hopefully the drawing that we distributed, it's 22 normal-sized 4x8 plots, plus I think there's 5 raised beds, 5 raised tables. Now those tables are with ADA compliant accommodations, so it's actually built so that you can actually bring a wheelchair underneath it. We have been working with the senior center to kind of design this so that the senior citizens can use it as well as somebody in a wheelchair. So those tables are actually so that the senior citizen doesn't have to lean over. You can put, it'll be big enough so that you can actually put vegetables and whatever you want in there, but without actually having to lean. We actually spoke to the director of the senior center. She said that several of the seniors are not in wheelchairs, but they do use walkers that they sit in, and that there's a lot of people that are actually interested in a community garden. They were actually looking at building something behind the senior center themselves. So this basically, what I'm looking at right now is a grant. I've put together a grant proposal with through Sustainable Jersey and PSE&G for $20,000 to fund this. The design, I actually brought in a consultant out of Glen Rock who builds like backyard gardens, community gardens. He actually does that for a living, making raised beds and community gardens. You can actually hire him to make a raised bed in your own backyard. So he's kind of an expert of it. He actually also proposed doing like these little salad tables that we can actually have built in there as well. And he'll also build a picnic table that will also have like an ADA extension on it so that you can roll a wheelchair or again, the seated walker right underneath it. Now, part of the grant is also fencing off the area, doing some slight modifications to the existing fence that's there, cleaning it up, upgrading it, making it all nice. It would close off the fence over by Valley. Right now, we're exploring the option of leaving the basketball court as well, or the possibility of moving the basketball nets. I'm not really sure what we're doing yet with that. We're kind of in discussion with the Board of Ed. I met with the Board of Ed actually last night. They had some questions and some concerns for me, which I'm sure you're all aware. I'm going to work right with them to try to address all their concerns. Their concerns were about the basketball court as well as security. Now, kind of the way we've always envisioned it was that it's a community garden. You're not going to have everybody there at once. You'll have 1 or 2 people there kind of at once on weekends and maybe once or twice during the week. It's not going to be utilized all the time. And our kind of vision would be that people would park right in the municipal parking lot behind the municipal building, not up top and like walking down, because one, stairs are not ADA compliant, and 2, it's a little too far if you're bringing stuff, if you want to bring plants and things like that. So I'm planning on speaking further with the Board of Ed to kind of address their concerns, but that's basically the whole.
All right, fees are annual?
Yeah, it'll be an annual fee. We had looked at community gardens in the area, so from Hawthorne to Ringwood to Glen Rock, kind of the average was about $50 annually, and that money will go into an account, which we're still working out with Rich right now how that would work, but that would be for maintenance, future maintenance, that account, as well as maybe some upgrades as we see. I actually priced out kind of a lot of different upgrades and options for the future, things from trellises and just upgrades that we
All
might
right, the
use
one thing
later.
I just comes to me is that, how do you know what they're planting? I think
I have
that's what I'm getting
rules,
at.
so there are going to be rules. So a couple of things. I actually put a rules packet together.
Sorry,
and-
Linda.
Nothing illegal. We want
But
things
what
to
if
be
it does become
native.
legal? What if it does become legal?
And they'd be kicked out and it would be removed.
Okay.
That they have to abide by the bylaws.
Okay.
And as part of their application, they're agreeing to meet the rules that have been put forth. I think I forwarded that over to you as well. There's rules like nothing illegal, nothing viney, nothing too big. We want native, we prefer heirlooms. Some of the things, last year, the Green Team had gotten a grant from PSC&G, a small grant, and we bought heirloom seeds, which the library will be hosting a seed bank, which we're still working out with the library right now. But we have the seeds actually already. And so anybody using the garden can actually go over to the library and get seeds. They're free, that we have them already. You get a handful of seeds that you can bring down to the garden. They're heirlooms, they're organic. Some of the rules are that everything, no pesticides, everything has to be organic and approved. The soil will actually be brought in by the design build consultant that I'm using. All of that is organic mix and approved. So we've kind of back and forwards kind of thought about all of that stuff as well.
When will you know about the $20,000 grant?
First week in April,
Wow. Quick.
So without that grant, you will or will not proceed?
can't proceed with that.
Okay, I have a quick,
Yes.
just two questions actually, if you don't mind. You talked about the tables being ADA compliant.
Mhm.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't there a curb around that entire thing?
No.
The one side.
Is it wheelchair accessible is my question.
Yeah, it may require a bit of an upgrade to the asphalt, but it's pretty much on grade next to the clothing bin.
The clothing bin. So,
Okay, isn't it right behind the clothing bin where we're talking about
Yes.
the recycling center?
Yes.
so we would open
So
up
where
a,
we would have,
Isn't
no,
it?
there's a bump stop for the cars.
Okay. Oh, not from the parking lot. Okay, good. I just
yeah,
wanna make sure
so there's curb stops that
Right.
are there.
That's okay, those are-
And we are going to put a gate at that kind of corner underneath the tree, right where the opening where the bins end. So that's where the gate actually would be, so you wouldn't actually need to modify the curb at all.
And it's a great idea, by the way.
Thank you.
The other question is, where's water coming from? People are gonna bring their
So
own?
part of the grant is that
We're
I
gonna dig a
priced.
well.
No,
We're gonna run a water line.
we're running a water line.
Okay,
DPW will run a water line, we're paying for it through the grant.
Nice, very good.
Could I, just please excuse my attire, I came right from work today. The school board, after you had made the presentation, I'm the liaison to the school board, so today I received a phone call. And they're a little concerned about the location and the security of it. There's some issues, they brought up that right now they use the location when it does snow, that the snow gets plowed there. They came up with, and there's an email that was, I think it was forwarded to you also.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, there are concerns. I don't know that,
I think they can be addressed. I mean,
Yeah.
it might not be A, but it could be B, or it might not be B, but
yeah,
it could be
it's
C.
just, as long as we keep in contact and see what we can do, and then, I mean, we have to figure out what we could do. It's a nice idea, of course, but, if there was another location, maybe that would, but I'm sure you've been, yeah.
Yeah, this is
And,
actually our second location that we had come up with. We had actually been already designing another location,
Yeah.
but that wasn't gonna work out.
But I just know they have
Yeah.
a lot of concerns.
So, I mean, the big concern is security. It is in the rules that I wrote up, no parking in VMS, full stop.
Right, sure.
Ever.
And Mr. Desiderio called me while I was at Borough Hall, and Richard Kearns, our administrator, and I spoke to him together, and we assured him that if it goes forward, that we would keep him posted and involved the whole time.
All right.
I've been in contact with Dr. Cafaro for a while about this. I talked to her quite a bit. So, I'm willing to make accommodations to meet their request.
Okay,
So-
that's fine. I mean, if you just stay in touch, I think that's
Yeah.
the best that we could do. And I
Yeah.
mean, then the school understands that it's town property, so, but, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would be concerned as well, and that's, you know, like I said, I mean, I had already kind of thought the rules as far as parking, and I wouldn't want anybody parking there either.
Sure.
Ever. So even when school is not in session, so, you know, those are things that I've been thinking about.
I think some of the other locations, Councilman Talmini, they were not conducive, whether there was too much shade, whether there wasn't readily accessible water. You know, those are important things for a community garden, whereas here, beautiful sun, pretty accessible to public water. I mean, we do have to extend the water line, but
Yeah,
in
but
some
it's
of the
only
other
like 60
cases.
feet,
Pardon?
so it's only like 60 feet that we're
Yeah.
bringing the water.
Some of the
from.
other places didn't have a water line anywhere.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to take.
I
into
understand.
consideration.
You know, they're just, a lot of it
Yes.
is security.
Sure,
They're-
sure.
They're worried about people being on the school grounds when.
But there is no security now, is there? Or they have
But-
cameras, don't
But you're bringing, you're putting something there to bring people
they?
there, you know? And right now, if somebody walked there, they would call somebody and say, hey, what are you doing here? You know,
But I
you
mean,
don't
it's an
belong
open
here.
area. I mean, the entire
Yes,
school
yeah,
is
yeah,
not
I'm-
enclosed in a
but-
fence.
But you're putting something there
Mhm.
that you're inviting people to come to. And
You mean
now-
almost like an attractive,
attractive nuisance, you know, but that's, you know, so.
Part of the proposal is also that the gate is gonna be locked. Members are gonna have a key, not anybody else.
Right.
So the only members are gonna be in there, and they're gonna be let in by the member, I mean, if you bring the
Sure.
family, whatever.
Yeah.
But
And the
we'll have a
parking
list.
will be on the borough property.
Yeah,
That'll be
Mhm.
the only way to get into.
yeah, you're not going from the
Garden.
street, you're gonna come actually from borough parking lot, so.
I guess we could put that in the rules too.
Yeah, I already had started actually
Amending
rewriting.
some of them.
Yeah, that you have to park in the lower parking lot, that,
Mhm, mhm.
you know, no trespassing on VMS. Full stop,
Beautiful,
you know,
beautiful.
there's no,
All right, so that this time I'm going to pull out of your computer, just roll it down to Resolution 20-76. So now it's fresh in your mind, to authorize the Sustainable Jersey Grant application. What?
I just sent it today, so.
We'll be on the
It's
wall.
on the table.
Sustainable Oakland Green Team Committee wishes to apply for a grant for the 2020 Sustainable Jersey Grant Program, a $20,000 grant in order to create a community garden. So is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Fruticelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talmini.
Yeah, just please keep the school, but yes.
100%.
Councilman Van Ness.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much for your work.
Thank you, Ally.
Thank you for your work, Joe.
Great community program.
All right,
All
Ally,
right.
you did a good job, you can have my cover.
Thank you.
Did you want to speak? Oh,
For the senior center,
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
all right,
want to go
all
out of
right.
order and do that?
All right, let me finish this
It's
part.
anarchy here tonight.
Okay, we're moving the agenda around a little bit. All right, we have some spots to fill. On the Environmental Commission, we have Nancy Kraus does want to return for a 3-year position. And we have Larry Levine as an alternate 2 for the 3-year position. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? The next one is the Ed Tryon. Put in his leadership form to be reappointed to the Emergency Management Council.
So moved.
He will be the emergency, yeah, you're very fast tonight. Emergency Operations Center Coordinator.
Second.
Oh, that's my appointment, so I don't need you, I appointed.
You don't need us.
No, no,
We can
okay.
Wow, that's just cold.
All right, now, raffle license. The PTO of Maplewood School, Inc. in West Milford, license RL1383, wants to hold a license of cash prizes, a raffle, on March 7, 2020 at Portobello.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? License RL 1384, the PTO Maple Road School in West Milford wants to hold a tricky tray that same night, March 7th, 2020 at Portobello.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now, we have to do,
You done with everything?
I am done with everything.
All right, make sure my mic is on.
As indicated to me during the course of executive session, the appointment of the borough engineer and the water and sewer engineer was not acted upon last month. In accordance with the statute, mayor has 30 days in which to nominate and for the council to confirm that nomination. No nomination was made at that time. Therefore, it would be appropriate for the council to appoint an engineer without a nomination by the mayor. This would have to be done with a motion and a second by a council member.
I move to appoint Boswell Engineering.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
Through my dealings, and John, really no reflection on you at all. I just feel that Boswell Engineer is no longer in the best interest of the community. So I am not going to support them for this position. I think we have better options.
Anybody else wish to speak? If not, roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
No.
Councilman Pinutelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ness.
Yes.
All right, in addition, since you've divided the position into two, you had the borough engineer, it would be appropriate for a water and sewer engineer.
So moved on Boswell Engineering for
Second.
water and sewer.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
No.
Councilman Pinutelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ness.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, we have, again, all right, well, this will be done. We have consent agenda for the resolutions. I'll read them. If you want any pulled out, let me know. 2072 is the purchase of a,
Bless you. God bless you.
not a sneeze, a one Cyclone 2 ladder truck, and the purchase price is $1,198,522. And as you know, we put away money every year towards a fire truck because of the cost. So it doesn't come out all at once. 2073, cancel emergency appropriation reserve and the reassessment to the previous evaluation of $19,011.71. 2074 is to authorize the grant for application radon test kits and the requested amount of $2,000. 2075 is the authorize a grant agreement for tennis court improvements, and it is with Bergen County for the purpose of using $33,500 matching grant award from the 2019 funding round of the Bergen County Open Space. 2076 we already did. 2077 authorized grant application for the 2020 census, and there are grants, and Councilwoman, Freeholder Ortiz has spoken about that there is grant money available for each community for the use of census, and we're asking for $4,455.02 to be used for the 2020 census, which I hope everyone remembers. That's very important that you answer the census. 2078, ratify labor agreement with the blue collar unit. It'll be from January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2024. 2079 is to hire a public works laborer, Nicholas Marquezo, for a full-time vacancy in DPW at a starting salary of $38,853. 2080 is to amend the 2019 sewer council contract with John Napolitano. The amount is not to exceed $10,000. And there's a need to amend the contract for an additional $828.75 for a total of $10,828.75. 2081 is to authorize the separation payment of Sebastian Rollo for personal and compensatory time accumulated $8,488.22. And to now appoint in 2082 a per diem dispatcher of Sebastian Rollo at a step 2 salary of $25.63 per hour, effective February 12, 2020. 2083 is authorized the interlocal agreement with the Waldwick Well Baby Clinic, and it is a one-time administrative fee of $125, and then a $35 per child fee for examination, and a $20 per child fee for immunization, and it'll be billed directly by the medical provider. 2084 is authorized a liquor license carried. Pulled them out. 2085 is to authorize the LoSAP list. And this is, LoSAP is the Length of Service Awards program for volunteer Oakland Fire Department, Oakland First Aid Squad, who are qualified for credit. And for the year 2019, the list is attached in the packet on your computer, and it's everybody and how much they, each name and their contribution in 2019. Do you wish any pulled out?
Yes, Mayor.
Which one?
2085, please.
2085, Mayor.
The LoSAP.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay,
you,
so
Patrick.
2072 minus 2076 minus 2084 and 2085. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Nat.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pingazelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Now remember, 2084 is being held. This is a person-to-person liquor license transfer. And I think, is that the Stables location?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody knows. 2085, LoSAP payment.
Yes, I asked for that to be pulled. I volunteer at the First Aid Squad, so when you take the roll call, I'll have to abstain from that.
Anybody else?
Well, yeah, I'll just abstain. I didn't need to give the whole spiel.
Oh.
Do you want me to
Well,
rescind?
now that you both did, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Nat.
I'm going to abstain
Councilman Levy.
Why?
Really? Why?
because Pat told me to.
I think you should give everybody an explanation.
Yes, please tell everybody why you're abstaining.
I'm abstaining because I'm a member of the fire department and I gained by this, so I don't want to vote on it.
Thank you. Okay.
Councilman Levy.
Wait, does this mean it helps Bob? Because now I have to think about it. Yes.
Councilman Pingazelli.
Abstain?
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
And we already heard why you were abstaining. Work session, oh, no, we have an ordinance. This is 20 bond 804 supplemental funding for radio system. Okay, I need a motion to open to the public.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anybody wish to speak on this? Does
Motion
anybody know what we're talking
closed.
about?
Second?
Okay, no one wishes to speak? Motion to close, oh, you want to speak? This is the radio.
What this entails.
Could you explain it's the capital ordinance authorizing various public improvements and the acquisition of a new communication and signal system equipment for the borough, providing that such sum is appropriate, shall be raised from the fund balance of the general capital. It's for radios.
It's a fully funded ordinance for radio equipment
Motorola
for the police
Solutions.
department.
Anybody else? Motion closed.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Nat.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pingazelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do, under work session, let's do the senior center event because Ariel is here, our senior student director.
Sure, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Ariel Preciado for the Oakland Senior Center. So I'm here to propose a change to the facility use of the senior center. Currently, the facility is open to town groups and nonprofits use the facility Monday through Friday at no charge for meetings and programs. This proposal is to change that policy to allow private citizens to rent the facility for a fee on the weekends. It would be from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, with the exception of April through July, which is baseball season, in which case the facility could not be rented prior to 3 p.m. on Saturdays. As well as, I'm sorry, I forgot to say Fridays from 6 to 9. Fees would be $300 for 5 hours of use, with an additional 30 minutes for cleanup at the end. That's not inclusive in their 5 hours. It's an additional 30 minutes. And then each additional hour would be $50. And they would also be required to give a $500 damage deposit via check that would be returned to them upon no damage or extraordinary cleanup as being reported. We would have a town representative who would come and close up the facility at the end of the scheduled event, and they would go through a checklist that we would create, making sure that everything is cleaned, everything's put away, garbage is taken out, recycling is put where it's supposed to be, and check to make sure there's no damage in the facility. And then upon them going through that, they would either report back to me letting me know, otherwise they let me know that everything's clear, good to go, and then we could return their check within 30 days. They would also be responsible, the renter would be responsible for providing insurance. They'd have to have an insurance policy, list the Borough of Oakland as an additionally insured with a hold harmless agreement for a one-day event with liquor liability. So one of the things that we would be doing in this proposal would be changing, currently the senior center does not allow any alcohol on its premise. During these rentals, we would allow a beer and wine to be allowed. Only, no hard liquor. And then with that, and they would have liability through their insurance. So in the event that they were to damage something or there would be any issues, we would be able to then take that $500 deposit to fix everything.
I have a question.
Sure.
Did you talk about cooking?
I've not gotten there yet.
I have a question.
Yes.
Brian, so somebody drinks there, gets in their car, hits a school bus full of nuns.
How many nuns?
Let's say 4. And a bishop. And a rabbi, just so that I include.
What you're going to do is the insurance requirements plus the service of liquor are going to be reviewed by your risk manager. So it's going to be a little more significant than just obtaining a certificate of insurance. The borough will have to be named as an additional insured with appropriate limits, with the non-subrogation. So if the borough is brought in, that the primary carrier and the responsible carrier will be those renting the facility. There are guidelines through the Joint Insurance Fund as to the type of insurance that's required, specifically where you're serving liquor at events.
Well, we just went through a JIF course about something else, but it's basically...
We have been, just so you know, that when we were considering this, we spent a decent amount of time going back and forth on the liquor issue. And we did reach out to our risk manager and get appropriate guidance from him in the JIF. That was actually the thought about the one-day liquor liability rider going on all of this. So we're following all of the recommendations that they've provided in crafting the policy.
It would also be, a big problem would be for the host and hostess.
All right,
who
but
are
I mean, if
serving.
somebody, my concern, because you hear it all constantly, somebody has a party at their house,
The host and hostess,
the people that own the house.
the one who's hosting the party.
So
yeah.
so as long as we're not gonna get dragged, because I wonder if we can
Of
personally...
course we're gonna get dragged. Anybody sues everybody, you know that.
You're going to be named in any litigation. The key is that litigation is funded by somebody else.
I have a statement and a question. I've been on the council long enough, when Rose was director of the
Right.
senior citizen group. And at one time, they did allow liquor, and it appeared that the groups got out of hand, there was too much noise, complaining by the residents.
That was the seniors.
Yes, what did I
We
say?
didn't rent.
I'm sorry?
It wasn't outside rentals, it was the seniors.
No, it was also
It was
outside
the-
renters.
But it was the seniors that they were complaining, they didn't want anything at their parties.
No, I'm sorry.
Well,
I was in contact with Rose, I helped write the rules and regulations that they're currently under. Rose said that they, when they served liquor, some of them got out of hand and the neighbors complained, whether it was the
but we
seniors.
didn't rent out then. We didn't rent out to parties
We
then.
never rented out.
We never rented out.
I think at one point, there was liquor used by nonprofit groups that utilized the center
Nonprofit, but now we're
during the
renting,
week.
right, it's nonprofit.
So there wasn't, we didn't have the
All I'm
insurance
saying
for
is,
that.
there was a problem at one time. Whomever was in the building, when they had liquor, they had
Okay.
caused problems. There was quite a bit of litter because of bottles and containers, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not against it, I'm just saying, at one time, we passed that rule because we had a problem with that. I'm pretty sure it was outside groups. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was outside groups.
It was that one time, Pat.
Yeah. The other question is, where is the money gonna go from the rental? Does it go back to the borough, to the general fund? Does it go in the trust fund for seniors? Does it go in their budget as a 59?
It comes in as general revenue.
Okay, because I don't know why, what's the reason why we came up with doing this? Why?
Well, it was a mix of two things. I've been getting a lot of requests for it from the public, and that was what initially brought me to start researching, looking into doing this. And then on top of that, ideally what would happen we would bring in the revenue, and then some of it would be appropriated towards the seniors in order to be able to offer an additional trip, more programs.
Right. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, just from a budget perspective, that it's going to be a separate trust fund. More likely what will happen is,
159?
when we have some history under our belt, that'll inform how much we can anticipate in the subsequent year's budget, and you have an offsetting appropriation on the other side to essentially utilize that revenue. But it wouldn't be necessarily like a trust fund or anything like that.
I'm not against it. I mean, I think it's a good idea, to help fund additional programs for the seniors, which is great. But I just wondering, where we would be going with that money, because I don't want people to say, well, that money should have done X when it had to do Y. So I just want to make sure we know where it's going and how it's going to be utilized.
And ultimately, the use of that money will be at, council's discretion in terms of, how much it chooses to fund the senior center or fund improvements to the structure itself.
I don't have any problem with it. I don't want the seniors to get mad at me.
All right.
I don't have a problem with it.
So
He's a senior.
I have
I'm a member.
a question and then a statement, but I don't know if you were done, because you were kind of cut off before your.
I was just going to suggest, why don't we let
I
Al
can
go
continue
first?
going through the remainder of the proposal that
Yes.
goes
And
through.
then take questions at the
Then
end.
I get the first choice, because they will all jump me.
All right. So I'll just go through the remainder of the proposal that talks about all the assorted things that would it entail. So, opening and closing the building, the renter would be given a letter the way I currently rent out the facility to the nonprofits. It would be a signed letter on letterhead. They bring it to the police station, obtain the key to the facility from the police. They'd be able to open up the facility, and then at the end of the evening, as I had stated, we'd have a town representative, whether that be myself, my assistant, maybe someone from DPW we've been discussing as a potential representative. They'd be paid by stipend per event. They would do the walk through the facility, check everything, make sure the kitchen's cleaned up, garbage is taken out, ovens turned off, all of those assorted things, as stated in the checklist, and then give them the key, and they would walk up the facility and return it to the police station at the end of the event. The setup would be, they'd be responsible for essentially their own setup. The room is currently set, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the facility. We've got a dance floor in the center, tables surrounding the dance floor with a dais in the front. The room would be set as such with all of the linen and decor removed from the tables. They would be responsible for setting up the room however they choose. If that means breaking down tables, they would put tables away in the closet, and we would show them during their walkthrough where they would be able to put things. And it would be their responsibility to put it back as they found it at the end of their event during their cleanup and close-up. They'd be responsible for all of their own linens, all their own decor. They would not be able to put anything up on the walls. So no tape, glues, nails, tacks, any kind of adhesives, anything that could damage the facility in any way. The kitchen would be allowed to be used for storage purposes, so we do have a refrigerator and we have an oven and stove. They'd be able to use the oven and stove for heating food brought in from the outside, not for cooking. So they wouldn't be able to hire a caterer to do all the cooking and prep in the facility. They'd be able to, get trays from the local pizza place, and if they need to be heated, they could use the oven for that. In the event that they did want to bring in a caterer for cooking purposes, that caterer would have to bring in all their own cooking utensils. So, for example, a grill. And I would coordinate with the fire department as to where that grill could be set up on the property. I think we were looking at the
Patio.
no, I think we were looking by the buses.
Right.
We were discussing the parking lot by where
Right,
we
with the door,
store the
there's
bus.
a door there.
Exactly. And yes, and then cleanup, as I said, they'd be responsible for taking out their own garbage to the dumpsters, which are located right next to the facility. We have garbage cans, recycling, they'd be responsible for recycling in accordance with ordinances. And then they would have to make sure the facility was left as they found it. And then the damage policy. So the damage deposit would cover damage and janitorial charges needed to restore the building to its original condition. So that's a $500 additional deposit that they would put down when they applied to use the facility. It would be returned to them in the event that there is no excessive cleanup necessary. So we don't need to bring in the cleaning crew to shampoo the carpets. We do recognize that additional use in the facility would mean that we'd have to clean the carpets more often, but this would be, they spilled an entire tray of lasagna on the floor and we need to bring in the carpet cleaner specifically for that one-time use. If there was any damage that went above that $500, that's when it would trigger their insurance so if there's a hole in the wall, that's when it would get to that point. Parking, so the facility's parking lot would be designated for that event. We would post signage to say that the parking was for that specific event. And I would coordinate with Recreation to just let them know when we would have a event going on so they would be aware. And then cancellation, notice of cancellation would be submitted a minimum of 7 days prior to the function, and the borough would reserve the right to cancel any rental in the event of an emergency and the facility is needed. And that is the entire proposal.
Now,
Very good, thank you.
all right, Councilman.
So, what you kind of answered some of them. So, I have some concern with, and you may do it now with nonprofits. I don't know who they are, those nonprofit organizations, but I have concern with a party going on, even with just beer and wine, and nobody from the borough being there the entire time at the party.
Okay.
I've been a member of the Elks, I've been a member of the fire department, and we've done that with our halls. And at times, things get a little out of control sometimes. Sometimes there becomes questions of the facility that somebody familiar with the facility needs to answer. So now they're gonna be calling somebody, how does this happen? This water pipe just broke, where's the main shutoff? Whatever it may be. I'm not comfortable in just giving the building away, even though we have that $500 deposit, without a supervisor or a representative, whether it's DPW guy getting paid to be there for the day or whatever it is. That could be built into the fee, if need be. I do have a small concern about the kitchen being used, especially without one of our representatives there again, for obvious fire reasons that, concern me. We could tell people you can only warm things and whatever, but when there's nobody there from the borough, they're gonna do whatever they wanna do. And one day they're gonna put in, a tray of something with a paper top or a pizza box in the oven and poof, there, now we have a fire. So I just have a little concerns with that. I don't know the building enough to ask, is the door to the basement currently have a lock on it? Because
I believe it does.
I don't know, but if it doesn't, that would have to happen for what's stored down there. And then, you know, just people roaming around the building, if they're supposed to be by the dance floor, you know, there's other areas, as you know, of that building that may not be locked. And they have the ability to go there, so just a couple, I'm not against it, but I just want to make sure we have the right.
Things in
right-
place.
Correct.
Right. And I think that something like the doors, I mean, we can adjust and add locks to the.
Yeah, I mean, that's the easy thing.
And I think you should also let the renter know it's a no smoking facility. I
Yes.
don't know if you mentioned that. or
I
not.
didn't, but it is, I didn't say it, but it is part of the alcohol smoking policy, and then violation of that provision. So if they brought in hard liquor and we were aware of it, or if smoking, including e-cigarettes, was to happen in the facility, it would be immediate loss of their deposit.
See, I know what Bob was saying, because at the Knights of Columbus, they rent out the hall also. But they have 2 of their bartenders there.
Right, there's always somebody
And-
outside.
Yeah, and they don't just stay at the bar. Every once in a while, they'll come walk around, you know, make sure there isn't any hard liquor or something that's prohibited. You know, and that's because there's somebody on premises. And I think that gives you added security and so that the people know somebody's watching us.
So that means we have to hire somebody.
Well, we were talking about part-time somebody anyway from either DPW or somebody. I mean, I'm sure Richard.
You build it into the fee if you have to.
We'd have to go back and take another look at the fee to cover something like that.
There are no security cameras that I'm aware of, correct?
No.
That's correct.
Is there a plan to put, if you're going forward with this, put security even around the perimeter?
Not.
There's a general plan very conceptual in terms of borough-wide, but we have not necessarily focused yet on the senior center.
But even if you had them, you'd still need somebody who's sitting there watching.
Right.
I would support this more if there was an on-site borough.
And can I just, the insurance, I mean, like if I wanted to rent it, I need my home, like, would it be my homeowner's insurance, or?
Yes,
Okay.
you can do a rider on your home.
And I apologize, Ariel, if you mentioned this.
Yeah.
So $500 doesn't go very far if they do something
Correct.
stupid.
Right.
So if whatever happens exceeds that $500,
Their insurance
their insurance
policy.
then picks it up
Yes.
automatically. And we are additional.
We would have to go after
We
the
are
insurance
additional
company?
insured, not additional named, is that correct?
You are an additional insured.
Yes.
Is that what you're
Very
proposing?
specific.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, have you talked with rec at all?
Yes.
You know, with parking and
Oh,
all that?
yes.
Because I know.
Yeah, I have some more questions.
Just to let everyone know.
As I heard this, I have some more questions.
Okay, just to let everyone know, this was a meeting between myself, the Borough Administrator, the Mayor, and Ariel. We sat down, spent a couple hours on this, going through every possible scenario. And
Including
this-
rec.
Including the rec. It was a top priority of ours. So, you know, this is a learning curve. We're gonna try this out, and as we go through the process, as we come upon something an anomaly that we didn't encounter in our planning, we'll address it and we'll make the changes necessary to our rules and regs, and we'll make it happen. As far as somebody being there, we'll know ahead of time if they're bringing wine and liquor, so we know that this might need an additional supervisory staff to come in and make sure everything's okay. Whether it's a police officer stopping in on the hour, just to make sure everyone's abiding by the rules, or somebody from the DPW who's on call that day, just to make a run and see if everyone's okay. So we'll address it as these issues arise, and as we get a history with the planning and the renting of the facility.
Councilman Biel, I would have loved to have been included on that meeting that you had. I wasn't
Oh, you weren't here?
involved. Oh, that's when I was away?
Yeah.
Okay,
You would have been, but you weren't here.
okay. Okay. Yeah, just kind of concerned, so if we're gonna need, if you mentioned alcohol being served and somebody,
No,
those
it's not being
situations.
served.
They're bringing in their own alcohol, and in those situations that we would want somebody there, or be more careful, why not charge if that particular rental is going to be having alcohol, it's not all of them will, that you would charge an additional fee for the ones who would be bringing in alcohol. Was that a consideration?
No, we didn't speak about that, we just.
So maybe
Back to the $500.
if you're gonna have beer and wine, it would be, instead of $300 rental, $500 rental.
Okay.
No, I don't
Something
know if
we
it was
could-
in a rental fee, but maybe we can make that as an additional
Like
to
an,
the policy for
The contract.
taking a deposit
Correct.
plus the damage deposit. Maybe we'll go from 500 to 1,000 for alcohol and malt.
Actually, 1,000
beer and
doesn't
wine.
sound so terrible to begin with
The what?
as a deposit.
Excuse?
I said 1,000 doesn't sound so terrible to have that as the deposit
Mhm.
instead of just 500. Because you know, you do anything and it's costly to fix.
And I guess one of the questions is just regarding like the timing of when it would be in the parking situation, how it may interfere with sports and the volume that you get in that area and how that would all be worked out. What was, you mentioned it when you first started speaking.
Right,
Do you have any
that
more
is-
details on that?
Do you want to speak? You worked with her.
Yeah, I actually do have a question about.
Sure. As I mentioned, so following discussion that was had with Mike with Recreation, that we wouldn't start Saturdays until after 3 p.m. after, I guess, the busy time of baseball, softball. would be.
Well, just a quick question, just because it's about rec, if you don't mind. So at no time when there is a rec event will the hall be rented?
That's not true.
Oh, no, rec will be going on. Our the mats is.
Why don't you come over here with the microphone?
Well, my question is this, though. So we are potentially going to be having people in a borough building drinking, and 5 feet away, potentially, we're going to have kids running around on a street that's got a posted, below 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, and they're going to be coming and going from this thing. Are we not?
Well, let's,
Yeah, my question too is, you can have people there going outside with their beer, drinking, go outside to smoke, and what's stopping them from meandering, 7,500 feet to the rec
Can we
field?
just take a course about
You know,
this?
That's just, I didn't realize how in-depth this was going to be until. Yeah,
Maybe we have to go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
I think we should go back to the drawing board.
we can meet again. And, part of this tonight was to solicit this sort of feedback.
Right.
Right.
See what your concerns are, your issues.
Yeah, recreation supports, making money in renting. We rent our fields out, definitely. But they're just these, I'd be uncomfortable having, we're not at our busy time, but we still have the girls, the young girls, and the boys on field 9, and the strangers. I mean, we have to kind of come up with.
It's going to go back to the drawing board now.
Okay.
All right.
The concept is there, so now we could fine tune the concept.
You're in the building
Okay.
stages. I support it, but let's just make sure we do it right.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ariel.
Recreation
Thank you.
bylaws. Who's doing that? Recreation bylaws? Did you put it in?
Rich did. We just, we need to vote on approving the bylaws. I'm sure Mike wants to approach
Any
the
questions?
podium and answer any questions.
Yeah, we haven't updated or really looked at our bylaws in 3 years. There's some changes we wanted to make, mostly to be compliant. We really weren't compliant with the bylaws weren't compliant with what our processes are with the borough. So basically, I think you also sent out
Yeah, this.
the changes are, in red.
In red, yes.
Yeah, that's basically what the changes are. Wasn't anything really complex.
Anybody have a problem? Everybody got it?
Got it?
Anybody have a problem?
No.
Anybody have a question? A suggestion?
Are you going to be drinking at the field?
I don't drink.
So,
I
that's
knew I
that.
was making up for somebody.
Shade tree logo. Thank you, Mike.
So, Mayor, if I might, I guess a couple meetings ago, everybody pretty much unanimously liked one of the designs. And the question was what it would look like if it was on a letterhead. So I don't know if the camera can see it or not. Well, everybody should, you have it. Everybody has it. So this is the logo. This is not actually a letterhead. Obviously, this piece would be pushed over, put on 2 lines and centered. But this is what the logo would look like, letterhead size. So if everybody's happy with this,
Is Shade Tree happy with it?
Shade Tree's good. No, we're very happy with it. I'm really sorry because when we had this discussion at the other meeting, we were all picking out squirrels and rats and bats and witches and stuff in the tree. It was really pretty cool because none of us saw it at the Shade Tree originally.
Yeah, you lose all that on the small.
And you do, well, I can kind of see the wedge. But anyway, so if everybody's good with this, this was gonna be our winner.
Go ahead.
And,
You designed it?
if everybody's good with it this way?
Looks really good.
Did we,
Thank you.
Does the Board of Health
did
have
they
a
want to put
logo?
that plant preserve protect?
Maybe you forgot.
We can put, I mean, we can figure out where to put that. I mean, did everybody like the tagline, plant, preserve, plant, preserve,
Where?
protect? Either it'll go circular around the outside of the logo, or we'll put it somewhere on the letterhead.
What is it called?
It's just a tagline. It says, it'll say plant, preserve, protect.
Oh.
Protect.
Because you
Protect.
have Oakland Shade Tree Commission twice. Maybe you should consider nice.
We just did a dummy
Oh.
letterhead just to
Yeah.
show you what, how the logo looked.
Oh,
That's
because you
not
don't
what
have
the
to
letterhead's
repeat
gonna
it.
be.
Yeah, you don't have to repeat Shade Tree Commission
Yeah.
again.
No, this is, the idea of this, Mayor, was just so that everybody had a very valid question. They looked at this little logo here, full size. So everybody wondered, what's it gonna look like when it's here?
Looks good.
This is what it looks like, so if everybody's good with it, Peter, you have a winner, go do that voodoo that you do.
Thank
If
you.
you're watching.
I removed the proposal for 2020 road program and for the Pages Way Bridge because we have a capital improvements meeting on Friday, so then we can bring this up afterwards. Draft ordinance regulating short-term rental property. Is that Airbnb?
Yes, Mayor. What we did is, I guess we had a discussion at the end of December for various ordinance revisions. In addition to this short-term rental ordinance, you will be getting an amendment to the zoning ordinance, which will amend your definition of family, take out borders as permitted accessory use in residential zones, and also prohibit rentals in accordance with this short-term rental ordinance. So what we did is we based it off of Franklin Lakes, which is similar to a lot of communities. I shared it with Rich and also, I believe, Mr. Whittakin. Neither, and Rich can certainly speak for himself, but we do have an email from Mr. Whittakin that that's what he was looking for. So that's what we have. You do not have the other ordinance that I mentioned with the zoning changes. There was a draft created. I'm going through that to correct it. We'll have that on the next work session.
Okay, thank you.
So we're comfortable, everybody's comfortable with moving ahead on introduction at the next meeting for
Yeah.
this?
Yeah,
I think that's
specifically for
important.
the Airbnb?
And I have to just clean it up a little bit, find out where I'm gonna put it.
Right.
Okay. Under new business, I just want to bring up that Recreation is reviewing the bylaws. They haven't done it in 3 years. The last bylaws here are, I won't tell you the age. You should all read, did you ever get a set of the bylaws, Fran?
I did.
All right, everybody look at the bylaws. I am working with Brian and with Rich drafting a proposed draft. Councilman Picatelli said he had some suggestions, if you could forward them, and then we'll have a meeting. The meeting, you had scheduled a meeting, but you gave the wrong day with the wrong date, so I don't know which date.
I believe we're meeting the last Friday of the month at 4:30.
You wrote down Monday the 20, you wrote down Friday the 24th, but the 24th is a Monday.
Wasn't that one of the dates you gave me?
No, I said a Monday, not a Friday. It can't be Friday 4:30.
No, Monday.
But he just said Friday.
No, Monday.
Monday at 4:30.
I can't,
I'm sorry.
no, 5:30.
Which Monday?
We'll discuss it. That's why,
The 24th?
in the meantime, the three of us will work a date with
Okay.
Richard, because he can't stand a late Friday either. So the question I have for everybody, the statement I have is, please take a look at the old bylaws, and and please send us some suggestions of what you think about changes. And then the committee will meet. I try, because sometimes it's easier to see it on paper, just like with the senior center rental. Once you see it on paper, you have to come up with other ideas. So I worked with Brian, I worked with Richard about drafting a revised and updated set. I took bylaws from all our surrounding towns, and I think I mentioned this once, I couldn't believe some of the wording was exactly the same. There must have been a boilerplate back in 2006, because the wording is the same, exactly the same, which is unusual. So everybody look at the bylaws, throw out some suggestions, we'll figure out the date we're meeting, and then we can update the bylaws. And these bylaws should be reviewed annually by the council. We should not be waiting 14 years. Okay, with that, anybody else have new business? Old business?
I did want to bring something up. I just saw there was a new store that moved into town.
Which one?
It was a candy store
Oh, yes.
in the strip mall. So I don't know if the mayor accounts what we do to welcome new businesses.
I went in there and I said, when are you going to do an opening? A lot of these stores do a soft opening,
Mhm.
and then they advertise for, just like with the pizza place. I said, do you want to do an opening? He said, we'd like to do soft openings first. So I've been waiting for them, if you know
Okay.
the owners personally.
I don't.
I went in there, candy was good, by the way. Unfortunately, I had to buy some when I went in there. But I asked them if they're going to want to do an official opening, they were going to get back to me.
Okay, it seems like that spot's changed over a few times, and I guess one of the things I want to bring up is there's no signage for that strip mall. That's something I noticed, that there's really good signage and promotion for where the hardware store is, but nothing for the businesses. It's like a spy store.
A spy store?
Or some type of security store, the new candy store.
I'm thinking a spy store.
A barber, and then W's.
Yes. All right, that is owned by Adele, and the other half of the building is owned by somebody else. And W's had a problem with signage, and they talked about to us a lot.
Yes, they
And
was.
so they made a deal with the hardware store, who owns the other strip of stores, to put a sign. Yes, it's a problem.
No, but
Wouldn't
that's
that
not.
require planning
that-
board approval?
It would be zoning, and that,
If it's within the, but
But
if
it-
it's within the parameter of the sign, of the ordinance, it's
Mayor,
okay.
he didn't make an arrangement with the hardware store. He has that small sign on the Luke Oil sign.
Oh, I thought you made an arrangement with the
No,
hardware store.
he won't do it, but it's only W, so like, that whole strip mall, that whole street, Elm Street, is really just an extension of the parking lot.
Right, it's a paper street.
So
But it is a road, it's a right of way for a road.
So they're.
One way.
It is a road, but it doesn't seem like.
It's a one-way road that the police use to give out tickets.
One day I'm gonna get to finish a full sentence.
Yes.
I've got 3 more years left to get this out.
Go ahead. Everybody, let Bobby talk.
You're the one that interrupted first.
Go ahead.
So,
Say something.
that whole strip mall is pigeonholed in there, and there is, you really think about it, there is no place for signage. As much as I'd like to help them, you think across the street with a sign with an arrow. Well, that's Copper Tree Mall's property. Copper Tree Mall has restaurants and stuff in there that they're certainly not gonna advertise restaurants across the street, or for the florist, or for the bike store, or the tanning salon. I mean, there's like 8 places in there. So, I don't know, we were gonna talk maybe to zoning, see if they can take a look at it and come up with something, but just take a look there, and the options are, that's the problem. The options are.
Bob, is there any room at the entrance of that road, in between the road and the parking lot, where a vertical sign can be put up that indicates all the businesses in the shopping mall?
So that's a good point. That was the only thing that I was thinking of the other night, because there is a telephone pole right there. Now, I don't know whose property that is, where the Oakland Hardware property, Jimmy's property, who owns that whole mall, if that's on his
But
property, or
aren't
if
there
that's.
2 owners on that side strip? Adele does
Yes,
not own the
no.
whole thing.
Adele does not own the brick building.
Right.
That brick building where W's was owned, I don't know if it still is, by Paul, who used to own the barber shop.
Oh,
So Adele owns where the candy store
candy
is.
store is, and is the consignment shop still there?
Yeah,
Not sure, I know the bike shop and I go to the
Yeah.
florist for work.
right. So there are two little
Right.
strips there, but they both have a really bad situation when it comes to signage. So maybe we can refer it to the zoning, and they can go out there and take a look. And, we would need some property survey done to see where that street is and ends, and where the parking lot starts.
But I thought that was all as an idea, that if ultimately that was gonna be opened up, and At one time, that was going to be part of the bypass road back in the 90s, but that didn't go anywhere. And then the railroad came, was gonna go to the railroad, and then who owns it, Cabrillion? Who owns it back there?
No, that was sold, it's no longer Gabrellian.
Oh, what?
They came in with the development, I forget their name. but
Right, they
somebody
were
sold.
going to open it up.
Well, it's part of our, part of what we were looking at for this alternate downtown access.
Right, and
Is
sewers.
actually turning Elm Street into what it's supposed to be, a road.
Right,
Because that would have been, we would have, if we can do it, we're gonna put that bypass or that alternate access road off of exit 58. You'll go over the tracks, and then you'll be able to either go straight on to Terhune to get to 202, or you can make a right and go behind
Right.
everything along the tracks. And one of those streets that's gonna be used is Elm Street to get you from that back road out to 202, or that may be the one-way going from 202 to
Yeah,
the back road.
that's not too narrow for a
I
two-way
think the
road.
Board of Adjustment would need a
Well, that's-
proposal.
Yeah,
well, I think the landlords, the owners of the two buildings,
You need to see who
Have
owns
to go
what
before the
property.
It's
board.
not going to be initiated by the Board of Adjustment. It has to be-
the owners of the buildings have to go before the
Yeah,
board,
right.
file an application.
all right, well, Grant, you're zoning, so maybe you can,
That's right.
I'll work with you on it.
Okay. And they'd have to go to the owner of the property and then talk to each one of the
But the owners have to file an
commercial
application.
businesses.
They have to file an application.
Yeah, but find out if everyone in that strip mall would like to see their name up on a sign.
Well,
And
what
I'm sure they
business-
all would.
Right.
It would only increase their business,
Right,
which
okay.
would make the rents more,
Okay,
the landlord would
All
like
right.
that.
More about old business.
you have?
Yes, he is.
Oh.
Yeah.
We had mentioned something about the traffic
Oh, I'm
study.
sorry, I said I was gonna remind you. So I did
The
today.
traffic study.
Traffic study. So I did email Nancy Vargas, who is
Right.
the county traffic engineer, and I copied Joe Femio, asking them, has our study been done? If not, when will it be done? More importantly, when are we gonna see the results? I just sent that email today. I have not heard back, but the last time I heard, we were supposed to get that study done in January.
I just hope, I live right on Ramapo Valley Road. I see a lot of traffic coming from north to south. I think we have to find out, is a majority of that going on 287? Or is a majority of that continuing down Ramapo Valley Road? Where do they go, left or right after that, or do they go all the way down to Portobello's? These are all important factors that we have to know about if in the event we could improve. We're not going to eliminate traffic. If we can in any way improve traffic flow through the downtown, we need to know from Sioux Avenue all the way down to Portobello's, not just a snapshot of 287, because we need to know all that information.
A lot of it has to do with the traffic lights, the
Right, we
two
know
lanes
that,
going
yeah.
into one lane, the one
Yep,
lane going
yep,
into,
Yep.
there's more than
Yeah,
just
yeah.
that intersection, yes.
But again, if you remember, I proposed doing this before they repave 202, so that in the event we have to restripe it to help facilitate traffic.
Well, they had to
can.
repave 202 because they dug up 202.
No, I'm talking about through the middle of town they're gonna do.
It's not been repaved yet.
But I'm saying, we need to do the traffic study before they do that this summer. I think they're gonna do it this year.
Right, they were holding
They
off,
have to.
waiting.
They now
Yes.
have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
We have to, it's very
So,
bad.
just to address your concern, from what I understand, this study is going to be probably from the Franklin Light to the Oak Street Light, because that's the area that is, and then we did ask for it to go down West Oakland as far as the northbound exit 58 from 287, because that's sort of the convolution of everything that involves the state, the county, which is how we're kind of getting piggybacked into this traffic study. So we do actually have access to the DOT's traffic counts from what was that? How many years ago was that, Rich? Remember we used them for the grant?
Last time we did a traffic study
not
was
us.
20 years ago.
The DOT
Oh, DOT, okay.
has traffic counts coming down off the ramps.
2012, 2013?
I think we got 2012, 2013, so we do have,
Well,
if we
certainly-
have to use them, we have those numbers. to
Well,
work.
certainly that should be incorporated into the county's study. Hopefully.
Well, I think they're gonna do, it is a state, the grant is from the state.
Okay.
I think, was it from the state or the federal government? The state.
I think state.
The county's getting a grant from the state to do the study because the light at
The
West...
light on West Oakland Avenue is part of the state because of 287.
No, the light at 287 and West Oakland
Yes.
is a state light. The
And,
light,
and,
West Oakland and 202 is state.
right,
Courthouse is county.
yes,
courthouse is county.
yes. That's the problem.
Why
Okay.
would courthouse be county?
Because
you don't know.
This is County Road.
And so is the,
NJDOT light.
and the county light
That's
at
state.
Oak Street is also county.
So it's
That's
not county.
Oak Street would be county.
So it's county,
No.
state,
Oak Street's
state,
county.
county.
County, state.
No,
Oak is county.
the Exxon, yes.
Did you put that in the minutes with his
The
arms?
Exxon light would be state.
State, that's what I said.
Correct.
It's county, state, state, county. As you go from
Oh,
Franklin
Franklin, yes.
to courthouse, enough.
Did you follow that?
Now I got it. It's not easy sitting here with these two yapping in my ear.
I know.
All right, all
What's the-
right. We're at council committee reports. Councilman Talamini.
Yes, as you see, I'm not dressed for the occasion, but I came right from work, so I don't have my notes with me, so no report tonight.
Thank you. Councilman.
Sure. I will first report on the Oakland Communications
Okay.
report. They are looking for new volunteers, so we've got a TV committee and a newsletter committee that needs volunteers. So if you email occ@oakland-nj.org with interest in volunteering, we'll get back to you. If you know of a special Oakland resident who is an unsung superhero volunteer, we want to hear about it. So if you email oaklandcrossroads@gmail.com, we'll take that information in so for any resident who you feel is an unsung superhero volunteer. There are 2 openings currently on the Oakland's Communication Commission. If you contact me at my email address, vanek@oakland-nj.org, I would be happy to talk to you about joining this wonderful group. And our next meeting is March 2nd at 7:30 right here in the council chambers. Next, I will do a report on the Recreation Committee. And the lacrosse signups for K to 2nd grade are not going on. This is the inaugural season for the program. So information on the program and registering can be found at oaklandrec.org. Information about our recreation summer sports camp is now posted online. The basketball, football, and softball camp information is available, while other sports camps will be posted soon. Same website, oaklandrec.org. The Recreation Commission has been working with the Ramapo River Reserve. This is a really special story about the Thomas McGinnis Memorial. That memorial was severely damaged and one of the storms that had come through, and the commission took possession of this plaque from that memorial, and will support, and with the support of the reserve and the McGinnis family, the commission and the preserve will preserve the plaque by creating a new memorial on a certain area down by the rec complex. So there will be a rededication ceremony of that plaque sometime this spring. And those are my 2 reports. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman.
Yes, senior report, line dancing will continue on February 21st with our volunteer instructor Edith at 2 p.m. No pre-registration for this as it is a drop-in class. There'll be a Valentine's Day bingo on Friday, February 14th at 2:30. The weekly Monday movie continues as they do on every Monday at 1:30. The movie from Monday, February 24th, will be the 2019 production of The Goldfinch, which is this production is about a 13-year-old Theo Decker's life, which is turned upside down when his mother is killed in a terrorist attack at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. A flyer with the weekly movie day schedule is available at the Senior Center and is also available on the Borough website. There'll be a presentation on Thursday, February 20th from 2 to 4 p.m. on tips and tricks of decluttering your home. The canceled December casino trip to Wind Creek Casino in Bethlehem has been rescheduled for Tuesday, March 13th. Those who registered for the trip in December are already registered for the March date. Ariel will be reaching out to those previously registered to confirm their attendance. There are still seats available on the bus. If anyone is interested, they can call Ariel or visit her at the Senior Center. The cost is $12, and the number at the Senior Center is 201-405-7731. And I want to thank Ariel for coming tonight and making the presentation on the proposal to make the Senior Center available for rentals for your special occasions. On the DPW report, the employees have collected and chipped a total of 1,484 Christmas trees during this year's program. Residents who missed the last collection date of January 31st can call the Public Works Building at 201-337-8104 to request a special collection. Those requests will be handled as the DPW schedule allows. Our Superintendent of Public Works has been in touch with Rockland Electric concerning issues with the LED lights. In previous years, the focus had been on school routes, poorly lit intersections, areas where additional lighting would increase public safety, and locations suggested to us by our residents. To date, we have taken advantage of Rockland Electric's LED conversion streetlight program by installing more than 80 fixtures since the program began in 2016. At this time, we are once again asking our residents for their suggestions of locations to be considered. Suggestions can be sent to Superintendent Marcuselli at dpw@oakland-nj.org or by calling 201-337-8103, extension 3003. As I reported previously, I've been in touch with one of the BPU commissioners in trying to add additional levels of available LED fixtures to the Rockland inventory. Tuesday of last week, I attended a meeting of community leaders and stakeholders who met to discuss LED streetlight conversions and the associated tariff requirements for the utility companies. In previous meetings with our utility company, Rockland has indicated that Bergen County has a limited choice of LED lights to choose from. I just want to let you know, I took that trip down to Trenton on Tuesday, and it was a great meeting with the BPU people at Thomas Edison University College. And there was about 60 or 70 attendees, and of all the attendees, most of them were from LED streetlight companies or control companies or actual electric companies. Atlantic City Electric was there, PSE&G was there, Rockland was not there. But the only elected officials to come were myself and the mayor of Highland Park, Rich, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Highland Park. And how they ran the meeting, they asked the elected officials to come up and give testimony as to how they do with their local electric companies to get an influx of LED lights to reduce the carbon footprint, number one, to add security and safety through our streets for both pedestrians and drivers. And the mayor got up with her borough administrator, made her a little speech about their problems going through it, and then she answered some questions, and then I was called up. I gave testimony to exactly how we got started and how we have been utilizing the Rockland Electric policy for LED streetlight conversion, and recently we found out that Oakland's the only town in all of Bergen County to take advantage of this program. And if I were in New York, we'd be able to assume other communities who aren't using their allotment, but we're not. We're only allowed 2%, and that 2% was derived by an agreement between BPU and Rockland. According to BPU, Rockland gets paid for the LED lights that they're converting for us. So to limit us to 2%, it's almost ridiculous, because it would take us, to change out the 777 lights, it would take us 50 years to change out the whole town. So the imprint on the footprint would not be recognized, but what we're looking for is the safety and security of the drivers and pedestrians throughout the town. And then after I finished, I took around 20 questions from the audience from different companies, Philips is so far advanced in streetlight technology, they just finished deploying all LED streetlights through the whole city of Albany and also Bucks County, Pennsylvania. So those two communities, and not only do they did they put in the streetlights, but Russ, you'd like to hear this one, they have technology where from the DPW office, they can regulate the amount of light out of each streetlight through a rheostat control system in the DPW office. So they can actually lower it down, where we're limited to hundreds and 70s. Other communities have 200s, 150s, 100s, 70s, 50s, and 20s, and the audience did not understand why we're limited. So I think the testimony given, the questions that were asked, were all recorded by the BPU people, and they're going to take it back to all the commissioners, and they're going to reassign the tariffs and the agreements with all the electric companies, so we get a better product to offer to our residents, number one. Number two, the other thing that was not good was that we don't get, there's no reduction in our rate. It's a flat rate for usage and for maintenance. And the LEDs actually knock off 70% of the usage fees, because we get as much out of an LED at 30% as we do as 100% of a regular incandescent or phosphorus light. So I asked the BPU official after it was over, and he said we can probably see changes in the next 12 to 18 months based on the testimony that was given. And since then, I've been getting phone calls from many of the people that were at that meeting to try to figure out, help our cause, and to send letters to the BPU asking them to reassign a new tariff and a new program so we can have better access to more lighting and a quicker way of getting it. So it was a good meeting, and I hope everything works out well. The DPW is also asking our residents to place trash and recycling cans out of the collection area behind the curb line when snow is predicted during storms. This will prevent cans from being toppled over or damaged by the snow plows as they move the snow. Public Works crews have begun this year's continuous pothole repair program. Crews have been out identifying and repairing potholes throughout the borough as scheduling allows. Public Works has used more than 11 tons of asphalt to repair 556 potholes throughout the month of January. Residents are asked to report known pothole locations by filling out a service request on the borough website or by calling the Public Works Service Building directly at 201-337-8104. And one other little anecdotal incident that's going to take place, and that is Rockland Electric will begin a storm hardening project in the borough of Oakland, and they wanted to let everyone know that lives on Long Hill Road between Rampo Valley Road and Wright Lane. The existing infrastructure attempts to operate and fails to do so, resulting in 200 customer outage on a regular basis. So they're going to be trimming trees. So if you see them out there, the purpose is to make our electric line and all the service lines stay intact during storms. So they're going to be operating some tree trimming trucks throughout the area. So that's my report.
Thank you. Councilman?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I have the 2020 Bergen County Utilities Authority household hazardous waste collection dates. The first one is Saturday, March the 7th at the Moonachie Bergen County Utilities Authority. The second one is going to be at Bergen Community College, 400 Paramus Road on Sunday, April the 5th. And the third one is going to be in Mawat at Camp Gore on Saturday, May the 9th. All of these are from 9 a.m. To 3 p.m. Do not bring electronics, paper, shredding, or tires to the hazardous waste collection. And as you know, the purpose of this is to keep all of this hazardous waste out of the environment. And you know, some people just dump this stuff down the storm sewer, which goes right to the river. Please don't do that. Here's a perfect way for you to get rid of all of this hazardous waste. The second report I have is from the Environmental Commission. Did not meet this month. Oakland Environmental Commission is looking for new members to join the team of commissioners. Free training is available. Current projects include maintenance of pollinator gardens, Flow Film Festival, Team Up to Cleanup, Habitat Box installation, and plan review. All interested parties should contact Carol Peterson at E, at oakland-nj.org. From the Green Team, Sustainable Oakland Green Team was for the second year in a row awarded a grant to plant 250 trees and bushes in Great Oak Park as part of the Roots for River program, and is applying to expand this grant application to put in more trees, bushes on other properties in Oakland. They will be announcing events in Great Oak Park in the upcoming weeks to prepare for the plant deliveries. Community volunteers will be needed. Advertising and creating accessibility for the census is one of the tasks the team is undertaking in the upcoming weeks. This is to create accessibility for the census. The Green Team is always looking for members. Please contact Carol Peterson at greenteam@oakland-nj.org for more information on how you can get involved. The Board of Health will be meeting this Wednesday, February the 18th, and that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Wednesday? Wednesday's not the 18th.
We're really having some date issues here.
Tuesday, sorry. Tuesday the 18th. Thank you, Mayor.
I didn't know if it was Wednesday or Tuesday, that's why I.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Only because I had caught that day.
Absolutely, and I appreciate your input.
We appreciate you understanding and sensitive to your needs to feel that way.
Thank you.
Are you having anything to say, Councilman Levy?
Actually, no, you did my sewer report, so we're good there. The Shade Tree Commission, we talked about the logos, gave a report last week. Flood Commission did not have a quorum this last meeting. So the Shade Tree will be meeting the first Monday of the month at Borough Hall at 7 o'clock. The Flood Commission will be meeting the second Monday of the month at Borough Hall starting at 7:30. Both commissions are looking for some members. So if anybody has interest in, being on the Flood Commission.
Oh, you have the resignation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right, you have a resignation.
Well, we did have a resignation.
From both,
That's true. I'm sorry, my mic wasn't on. So the Shade Tree Commission report I gave last week, but we did work out the logo issues tonight, as you know. Shade Tree will be meeting on the first Monday of the month at Borough Hall at 7 o'clock. The Flood Commission met, but did not have a quorum last week, so their next meeting will be this coming Monday, or I'm sorry, the second Monday of the month at Borough Hall at 7:30. And the Capital Projects Committee and my study in English language will be Friday morning at 9 o'clock at Borough Hall.
Right.
And that's a wrap.
Thank you. Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things from the police department. Their junior police academy, or junior police academy, for 2020 will run from July 17th through July 24th. Their applications can be gotten on the borough website and/or picked up at the police department. They are to be dropped off by the police department no later than May 1st, 2020. They have demonstrations planned from the Bergen County Canine, SWAT, Bomb Squad, State Police Aviation Unit. They bring a helicopter in. And I know years past this has been an outstanding event. Officer McDermott typically runs this and does a great job. Again, the borough website, you can get the application from, and it's to be dropped off at the police department no later than May 1st of this year. The other thing I have, two other things quick, is a message from the chief. Just a couple reminders that it's the new year, and he just wanted to put a couple things out there. And this one is, as a reminder, residents, according to the Borough Ordinance 7-15, no one is permitted to park a vehicle on borough streets between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. without first being granted permission from the Oakland Police Department. An exception to this ordinance is made on Sundays and on public holidays. So that means Saturday night into Sunday, it is permissible to park on the street and on public holidays without gaining permission. Also, according to Borough Ordinance 7-10, parking on borough streets is prohibited during snowstorms. This parking restriction is in effect until the storm has ended and the streets have been sufficiently cleared of snow. This ordinance is in place to allow the DPW employees to properly plow the streets without interference and to ensure the roadway is clear of snow and ice well beyond the end of the storm. And the chief thanks everyone for their anticipated cooperation. And you can see, it's not hard to see those that do leave their cars in the street during a snowstorm when you see the snow plow going around them and then there's just a pile there when the car leaves. So I think that the police have been pretty lenient as far as enforcing the overnight parking. We wanted to put this out to the residents at a meeting. It's going to go on the borough website as well. It's on the police department's website. And I'd like to get it put in the next, Ryan, the next newsletter thing that you do. Because this is important for people to know. And a lot of the reason why we have no on-street parking from 2 to 6 is not to be an inconvenience, but it's to give them the opportunities to look for suspicious people in the area. Because people that have driveways, you park in your driveway, you're fine. But now all of a sudden there's cars on the street in strange neighborhoods, you don't know who they are, and it gives them that opportunity to say, something might not be right here, and to dig in a little further. And then the snow reasons are pretty obvious. So that was that. I just want to check my date before I get yelled at because of the date issue.
I just corrected, I didn't yell.
She was like the date police
So
tonight.
on February 20th, we will be having our first 2020 kickoff meeting for all of the public safety organizations.
That's a Thursday.
What day of the week is that?
That's a Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday the 20th. That's right after Wednesday the 19th.
Which is just one day after,
The 18th.
So,
The only reason I know all these dates is because of my court calendars.
Okay,
And I know
so-
which days I'm going to court.
that's all, Mayor, I am done. Thank you.
Hey, Bob, can I add something when we're talking about the
You missed something?
parking?
Wait a minute, you missed something? What, on?
On Bobby's report, when we're parking overnight on the street, if everyone could understand on the side streets, make sure if you're gonna park or have a relative or friend park overnight, make sure it's not parked across the street from somebody else on the other side who's parked overnight at the same time. Because now you're limiting the street access to one vehicle going one way. So if you can juxtapose the cars so they're not adjacent to each other and allow two cars to pass each other on the road, because you get these cars when they're parked adjacent across the street from each other, there's no room for two cars to pass anymore. It creates the liability for both cars to be hit, or it creates an unsafe condition for cars late at night driving.
Well, the bigger issue is it creates not an alleyway for a fire truck to get through.
That's another issue, yeah.
So that's
And you should
good
never
point.
park across from someone coming out of a driveway.
That's true, exactly.
We could go and have
Stay-
a whole video on parking.
No, we're done.
Yeah.
Move on.
Oh. Is that it?
No, I got one more thing. And-
Oh.
And tonight on the way here, I stopped at Franklin and Arapahoe Valley Road, and there, I was making a left, and I'm waiting for the car who had a green light to go by me, except I looked into the car's windows, and I couldn't see the driver, because he has all his windows blacked out.
That's illegal in New Jersey.
That's illegal in New Jersey. If you have a neighbor in town that has windows blacked out, the side windows and the windshield, let them know. That's against the law. That's a ticketable item. So it doesn't give the other driver the opportunity to read your eyes when you're coming into an intersection. So just keep that. That's a violation
Yeah,
of the law.
tinted windows are illegal here. In fact, many people don't realize it, but you get ticketed. That's how a police car could stop you.
Right, exactly.
Anybody else before we move on? Move on. Okay, motion's open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Weren't quick enough, Dave.
Vic Petalito, 52 Montgomery Street. I don't know if I missed it when you were speaking before. What's going to happen with the ordinance 5949 3B
Rental?
We're getting rid of that one
completely?
completely.
And in the other one that you're going, is it going to take multiple rentals from the residential sections?
The ordinance that you have now bans short-term rentals, so for
Okay.
less than 30 days.
Okay,
And then you're strengthening the definition of family, you're eliminating borders, and I have to remember the last thing we did. We are banning rentals, as I said, throughout the zoning ordinance that are short-term. So the one ordinance was drafted, it was provided to the council this evening. That'll be on for introduction at the next meeting. And the next meeting, they'll have the draft of the zoning criteria, which we just discussed. That'll knock out the border language as an accessory use.
so it doesn't necessitate having two separate ordinances to just say that there's not one allowed for boarding houses and then the other one with the short-term rentals?
You're having to.
Okay, okay. And the other thing was, is there any way of putting in that if there's any rental situations where it goes beyond a single renter, that the owner is on site? That's one of the problems that was.
What it is that if you are renting individually, then it's a boarding house. That's the definition. So it's illegal under the ordinance as it'll be illegal under the ordinance as it will exist.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good evening. Dave Richardson, 320 Ramble Valley Road. Just a couple things. We all know the traffic's terrible in this town, okay? One of the things, when you mentioned before about Franklin Ave and Ramble Valley, is there anything that the county can do with widening that intersection? Like, everybody just says to me, when are they gonna get rid of that stream house? Not
It's
the
coming
county.
down in the 2020, right, Richard?
Yeah,
They could-
ready to go out to bid.
Right. Put a right-hand turn lane in there for people to head north on 202, because in the afternoon, it's backed up past Hiawatha Boulevard. Now, people coming down the hill that are courteous enough to let people that are trying to get out of Hiawatha Boulevard, they let them out. Now, by the time they get down to the light, it's red again. Now, they're sitting and sitting and
So
sitting.
I don't go that way. Is it one lane or two lanes at the light?
It's one lane.
One.
When you get to the light off of Franklin Avenue, it drops into two.
No, I'm talking about Franklin Ave.
Oh, Franklin Avenue.
Coming down the hill.
Oh, it's one lane?
There's an old wall right there by the stream house.
The
Why
problem
is
is you can't get too close to that stream.
Well,
It's
they-
not the
you know,
stream
they-
house he's
they
talking
can
about,
fix-
it's
they can
Ben
build.
Allen house. If he
No,
wants to
stream.
be,
No, it's the stream house.
He wants to move the curb closer to the stream.
from,
In other words, widen that, make a right-hand turn lane, there's an old wall
out of the
there.
corner,
Right,
on Round Valley Road.
on Franklin Ave.
When the building gets knocked
On
down,
the-
if it gets knocked down, the foundation is going to stay though.
Yeah, but that's
So-
the stream
so-
house, but.
That's
but-
all the way up the block.
But
He's
the
talking
Ben
about
Allen
right
house is
next
on the
to
corner.
The pathway entrance into
You
the
want a
building.
right turn lane on the corner?
Van Allen house is
No,
right there.
between, yeah, when you,
It's right on
let's
the-
say you come out of Hiawatha Boulevard.
Right.
And you're gonna go to Rample Valley Road.
Right.
There's a house there with a garage, it's like 6 or 7 garages.
Right.
And then there's the property for the stream house.
Right, and then there's the Ben Allen house.
Right. Well, that's
Ben Allen
back
house
over
is in
here.
the back.
Right,
The stream house, I don't
it's coming
understand.
down.
It's coming down. Now, what are they gonna do there? Are they gonna do
Foundation
it-
stays though.
Can I,
The foundation is staying.
What are you asking for? A third lane, a second lane at the
A
corner?
right-hand turn lane to allow traffic to
Oh.
go north on 202.
So at the corner?
Right, to allow, back it up there maybe 50 feet or something.
I don't know if there's enough room by the Ben
wait,
Allen house.
excuse me, Mayor, John?
Yes.
You Kimmick. You and I had this discussion, I think, or maybe we talked about it with the county, because that Franklin's a county road and Ramapo Valley Road's a county road.
Correct.
And I know that there was an issue about getting close to that stream. Because in order to make a lane, they told me how wide, and I'm sorry, I don't remember how wide does it have to be for an extra lane?
Well, you need at least 11 feet.
And you'll be encroaching on a historic property.
Right, and
And
that's-
that in and of itself
Is
is,
the
you're not
killer.
gonna get that approved.
Right.
And the foundation for that stream house, although the stream house is coming down, the foundation is staying.
And you still can't, and
So
it's
you
still.
don't have the room there.
I don't
John-
think you have enough stacking room either.
I mean,
You don't.
it's just something, that the town, the roads are old-fashioned in this town compared to the amount of traffic that's in this town. They gotta be updated.
The other,
You know?
the other problem you have is that, and people are screaming about sidewalks on Franklin.
Yeah.
So if you, even if you could squeeze a lane in there,
You get rid of-
number one, you have no stacking capacity at all, which means you're not gonna get enough cars in there to make any kind of measurable difference. That's number one. As John said, number two, you've got a historic piece of property, which, I've got better chance of growing wings and breaking the sound barrier than we have of
The
digging up
most
that piece of
important
property.
issue, though, Councilman, the most important issue is both those roads are county roads.
Yeah,
We
I
could do
know.
whatever we want, but county says no.
Yeah, well, it's the same as the corner of Breakneck Road and Long Hill Road. In the afternoon, it's backed up all the way up almost to Wayne.
Breakneck Road?
But that's 2 lanes.
Well, it's barely 2 lanes, because
Well,
when they come down, when they repave the road,
Oh,
Few
when
years
they
ago,
come
and
out
then-
because of the, coming out of the.
oh,
Yoga.
Breakneck, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the
Breakneck,
bottom of Long Hill.
and then they
Right.
relined it, okay?
Right.
Now, you got people,
Right.
you can't, people that make a right turn to go to Franklin Lakes, they're all the way up the hill there.
That's Wayne too, we get. We don't have.
That's
That's the horse
that's
road.
two counties,
Oakland, right.
two
Yeah, that's-
counties with 2 county roads.
Right, that's, what, 502 is the
Yeah, but
county
it's
road?
county roads with 2 separate counties. So, our hands are tied.
There is something at that intersection that we can do if we partner with the county in terms of doing the study and then
That's
having
by
them,
county area.
the county do the
I don't
work
think we
to try
wanna
and
touch that
add
right
a
now.
dedicated right turn lane.
I
in
think
there.
at this time, I don't think we're gonna touch that property
Which one?
over there.
It would
No,
be,
I'm not talking about
it would be
the street
across
house.
the street, Linda.
Oh, you're talking about across the
Yeah.
street?
I'm talking about up at Breakneck and.
I know what you're talking about, and you know what I'm talking about.
Why do we want to make it any better?
We don't wanna make it, no, not now. That's not an issue. we
That's,
should
that's
deal
where the
with
farm
that.
is there.
Yeah.
I-
The farm is there, yeah, but across the street.
We have a farm and we also have a property.
Right, well, I mean, what I usually do, when I come down there, I kind of get onto that double yellow line, I know you
Right.
shouldn't,
I
but
know.
to allow the people to get around me that want to make a right
Yeah, I do
turn.
the same thing.
It's
You know,
hard,
just to
I
be
know.
courteous enough, because
I know.
otherwise they're going to sit, quarter of a mile up the road.
I know.
All right,
You can't come at that time.
that's true.
Go ahead.
I guess that's it.
Oh, that's it?
I'm not going there. No, we're good, thanks.
Okay. Do you wanna say, you've
Please,
been
thank
sitting
you.
here.
Thank you. Kenneth Hayes, Millville Council Mayor, 82 Roosevelt Boulevard. I'm the one house that's not leaving over on Roosevelt, on Shroom. Okay. The retaining wall that's in the house that is going to be demoed right on the street curb, I would like to take the rocks, put them on the side of my house where I used to have a house that kind of helped me when it did flood.
All right,
Lou knows my
our attorney
situation
here.
pretty good.
Are you
The
listening?
old owner,
I'm
Dana,
listening,
said I
don't
could
know
have.
Who's taking the wall down, if anybody? I have to ask Rich, because I don't know
And
what
John?
our agreements are.
John, are you helping?
John?
I haven't been asked to, but I will.
Well, he wants
Yeah,
the rocks.
Actually, we're gonna be having a meeting soon with the county to talk about their assistance in the demolition of those homes.
I just want to help a little.
You want the rocks?
Yeah, I
So
want the rocks.
Usually, just so I can set the table, usually.
You've been in my house, you helped
uh,
me doing, yeah,
In
thank
the
you.
last bid that we did, it basically called for all those properties to more or less be graded out flat.
Right, there's a drive-in driveway between, that's, 3-foot retaining walls, that this would be filled in. These rocks are up against the curb of the street line, but I don't think they were ever really supposed to be, they were done as a, but.
We ordered 7 now.
May I
well,
suggest
what
that
I'll
you
say-
give your name, address, and contact information to Richard and to our engineer, John.
Thank you.
Okay. And Brian will need to take a look at the Green Acres requirements for that.
And we're, just
Before
bear
we
in
make a
mind, that's a
decision.
flood zone,
Mhm.
so you're really not gonna be allowed to put those rocks perpendicular to the floodway.
But the house was perpendicular to the floodway
I
you
know,
took
but it
down.
doesn't, yeah, but it's not, you're not doing a replacement. I mean, John, correct me if I'm wrong. You're not doing a replacement in kind of something. You'd still be putting up ostensibly a new structure.
It's more like a retaining wall
That's
alongside,
a
on my
structure.
property, though, not on any other property, just.
You can check, we can check with our floodplain manager, but you know, the DEP's pretty, or the NFIP's pretty serious about that. That's why we were thinking about putting a community garden down there, and we can't put up a fence
Okay.
in that whole area. I mean, if there's one there, there's one there already, but we can't build it.
No, there's no fences, I know, but just, the truck's already in the flood zone, so I'm not adding anything to the flood zone. If anything, the foundations and
John,
homes
I
are
don't
coming
think you
down,
can-
so you're
you-
lessening
You
the,
can't interfere with the floodway, correct, John?
my
That is correct.
house is there. All I want to do is put it alongside my house is perpendicular to the flood, so what's the difference if there was a rock in front of my house? What changes that?
Let me take a look at it.
I have some pictures if you.
I mean, Kenny, we can check, I just know.
Well, if I had known before the other house went down, because I learned this all from being there, and thank God it's been 6 years plus, so I haven't really had these issues, but the house before me that got taken down originally got knocked off its foundation, then
The one-
replaced, and they
The
added
brick one,
stone.
right?
The brick one.
Yeah.
Then they added those stones
Right.
to protect it. Well, if I had known, I would have asked this sooner, I would have asked for those rocks, because they're a lot closer to move. I could only move them from one side of the driveway to the other. But now, this is gonna be demoed. There's no way that is gonna stay.
Which house are you talking about, when you're facing your house?
Wait, you know what, after the meeting, you'll show it. In the meantime, you'll give contact information to
Thank you.
Richard Kunz, our administrator, and to John Yakimic.
Why don't you share the photos with the engineer?
Yeah, I just wanna help, because I
Okay.
wanna do some demo and kind
All
of
right.
listen to them.
All right, after the meeting, they'll talk. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Anybody else? Motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Councilman, bills to be paid.
Bills to be paid, $293,504.35. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman
Yes.
Bialy. Councilman Net.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pinkatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Salamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ness.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next meeting will be right here in council chambers, February 26th.
Yeah.
Now bring everything over to them.
Thank you. Did you say Nappers, Councilman Nappers?
To Councilman, to our administrator, and to John.
I want to talk about this, if he brings bonus and doesn't give them to the